to join this live. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Shay. For everybody on the playback, it has been some time. I'm gonna let some people get in here, but it has been about a week since I've posted a video or gone live on YouTube, and it's all for a reason. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. I did not schedule this live, so for everybody who's going to watch the playback, please post or what is it called?
Like,
No. The notification thing. What's it called? Hit the bell so you can get the notification when I'm on YouTube. Because again, it's gonna be live and random, and I have to do it that way because I have a newborn. Or not a newborn. Is she a newborn still?
you can
I
call
have an
her.
infant. Okay, I have a little baby, and she's the boss. Okay. Who was that? They said, "Hey, are you on here yet?" So I just want to get in and on here. Hi guys, and I want to check in with you guys. Again, it's been about a week since I've been on here. Since I posted a video or anything, so I just had to get on and check in. I have some things to get off my chest. My husband is here. We're going to be talking. If you guys have anything you want to talk about in this live, we could just do like a random Q&A. We could do whatever you guys want to do. What you say?
Is this a now live? Like a new live?
Oh, like a new live?
Yeah, like are
Yeah,
you
like-
actually live?
Yeah, I'm live right now, Franny. I think she's asking because people are saying that they're not getting the notifications the way that they're supposed to.
Gotcha.
Who else was on there?
Sunkissed.
Hi, Sunkissed. That's a new name.
All right, so let's get into this.
Okay,
What
let's do
is
this.
going on with you?
Me?
Yes, you.
So today, I have just been having like a very off day. Like when I tell you, it's just one of those days, and I just want to encourage anybody who's feeling some type of way. Like it's okay to have one of those days. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to not be okay. You're gonna have some days where you're just off, where your equilibrium is off.
I think a lot of it is, well, it's a culmination of things. It's a
Like
whole
what?
bunch of stuff.
Like what?
Like we've been dealing with some stuff in the family.
Yeah.
Things have been going on. It's been hectic.
Yeah.
The ball hasn't bounced well on our court lately. But and when that happens, sometimes it takes a toll on you.
Yeah. Without even realizing it.
Yeah. And then
So-
when I'm burdening a lot of weight, you seem to like to take that on your end, even though I tell you not to.
But that's what being a married couple is. Like when you see your spouse dealing with something, if that doesn't affect you emotionally, then are you really even married at that point? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you're supposed to be one,
Yep.
then you have to carry the burden of your spouse.
But you can't have both people at the same time going through the motions of things. So when I know that you're dealing with hard times, I usually try to lighten the mood.
That's true.
I usually try to make it so you're not having to walk through things. Oh!
Perks is in here.
Haven't seen that name in a long time on this
Perks,
screen.
where have you been? Oh my goodness.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Mm.
So if you're not, if you're not trying to make it lighter for the other person, it's just two dark clouds hanging over the house, and that's not good.
Right. And like a lot of it also is not what I was dealing with, and what I'm feeling is not, it's spiritual. I know it is, and it's heavy.
Yeah, I know it is.
It's heavy.
Yeah, I know.
Like a lot of people, like seriously, they don't understand. Like they don't understand what I go through.
Right.
Or what the weight is of someone who is really called, somebody who did not call themselves.
You mean the people that ain't wearing the Gucci suits in the pulpit? Them people?
You want to talk about it? You want to talk about it?
Sure. Because
Okay.
I think in our house, it's a big topic of discussion. Like aggravation.
Oh, how I always bring it up.
Not just you, Both
Okay.
of us.
Okay, he's going to go get the baby real quick. But real quick, who else is on? I can't see nothing. I can't see nothing. If you on here, say hey. But anyway, so the Gucci wearing people in the pulpits. You know, earlier in the week, I told you guys that I was not on YouTube. I was not posting any videos. I was not going live, and that was for a reason. I was fasting. It was a time between me and the Lord. Okay, I was fasting and really getting my head on straight and filling myself up and getting fit. Well, not filling. You know what I meant. You know, allowing the Lord to fill me up. And I was getting filled up and, you know, just praying and getting my head together. And during that time, I began to get really weary one of those days. I don't know if you remember, but I was really like getting weary, and I'm just like, Lord, the weight of this calling is really like a lot, because again, I didn't call myself to this. This is not my will for my life to just be on YouTube. You know what I mean? Sacrificing, you know, my life literally for people that I do not know, will never meet. But I make sure that I'm on here, you know, being the person and trying to be the person that I'm telling you guys to be, or encouraging you guys to be. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
So like the weight of it, like I had a dream during that time. Let's talk about all of it. Let's just talk about all of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Cards on the table.
I was really weary, and I got on Instagram, right? I got on Instagram, and I came across this prophetess, right? And I forgot what her name was.
Dr. Prophetess.
Dr. Prophetess Taryn
Something.
Tarver. I don't know. Don't quote me. But it was Dr. Prophetess Taryn something or another. And when I say this lady is Gucci down to the ground, like, and then, you know, you go on all of these different prophetess and people and pastors and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, Lord, where is their conviction? Because I get convicted for the littlest things. And then the Lord began to change my perspective about how he chastises those that he loves. Like, he corrects those that he loves. And he makes sure that if he ever takes me here, that I always have my conviction, because it's a generation full of people with these titles who have no conviction, and they're speaking into y'all spirits, and they're speaking into y'all souls, and they're leading you guys, and y'all tuning into these people's YouTubes and lives and Instagrams, and y'all tuned in, not realizing that God is not with these people, because God, he convicts. Okay, he convicts. He's not going to allow it to be a you show. He's not going to allow you to just be up on a pulpit and you thinking it's all about you. That's not how God works. So if you see somebody in a pulpit and they wearing all of this Gucci down, Louis this, like, that's not who God is. Anybody who get up there thinking that it's about them, that God is not in it. You can just click right on off. God is not in that. He makes sure that when he processes somebody to be speaking for him, living for him, speaking to his sheep, he makes sure that you're qualified. What type of person? Let's talk about this. Let's take it there, because when you go for a job interview, you cannot get a specific title without being qualified for the position. So let's take God, the biggest thing ever, God Almighty, God all by himself. You really think that he's going to be putting people in a pulpit, Gucci down, Louis this thing, like, knowing that our human flesh, it can carry jealousy and envy and spitefulness and, you know what I mean, and covetousness. Our flesh carries those things, so he would never allow his chosen vessel to get up there thinking that it's about them, knowing that it could affect the sheep in a horrible way. And I was reading the Bible earlier, and it said, if you strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. So that you have, what you're looking at right now today is a bunch of scattered sheep all over the place. And now here we are. Here we are. Because nobody is having conviction. But I'm thankful and I'm grateful for the conviction that I do have. Now, since we're talking about conviction, Or should I talk about the dream? I just felt that drop in my spirit. So I guess I'll talk about the dream. I had a dream this week when I was fasting, right? I had a dream, and y'all know that I'm not a, oh, I had a dream type of a person. Oh, I had a dream. You know, everybody on YouTube love talking about how they done had a dream and the Lord showed them this and they went to hell or they went to heaven and all of this stuff. Like, that's not me. I keep my dreams to myself. I write them down. But since this is dropping in my spirit so heavy, I'm going to share this dream because, again, this was right around the time when it was weighing on me heavy about the conviction, and how God do not let me get away with nothing. Nada. Nothing. Anything that I think I'm doing, I get punished for it and I get chastised for it. And then I straighten up. I've always been like that. When I was in the world, it happened like that. And it still happens like that. God never took his hands off of me. Right? So, again, I was watching a Dr. Tarver prophetess person, and I was watching, who else? Tiffany Mariah, and how she's shouting in the pulpit with her red bottoms on. And it's like, again, there's nothing wrong with having these designer things. I own, like, my closet. I have stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Authentic stuff. But it's not about you when you in God's pulpit. You can have all the designer you want, but it's not about you when you get up there. Okay? So, this dream, I had a dream that night. Woke up. I was like, wow. I had explained this dream to my husband. So, we were all like, I don't know if anybody's been to Canada, but it was like one of those really tall buildings called the Skylon Tower. And in the Skylon Tower, it's like glass, and you can look down and see the city. So we're so high up. It's like the highest building in Canada or something like that. Am I correct?
Yes.
And you can stand on this glass. And I remember going as a kid, if I'm being completely honest with you, I went to that building, and you stand on this glass, and I remember being super like reserved when I went, but in my dream we're all there, and there was this thief there, or like a robber or something, and I remember him, you know, he started throwing people off. It was just wide open. It wasn't even no glass there, no nothing, right? And he started throwing people off, and he said, I'm going to stop throwing people off once somebody sacrifices their self. So I remember all of us just, you know, everybody was just like in a panic. So everybody's in a panic. And I remember people saying, you know, once you fall and once you drop down off of this thing, you begin to break your back. Like, everybody kept talking about how you break your back on the way down. So I don't know why this happened or why, whatever, but I remember saying, okay, if it'll save all of these people and nobody else gets thrown off, I'll go. I'll take the jump and I'll just go. Okay. And so I took the jump. I jumped, and I remember I did not break my back. And I remember in the dream, I'm like, oh, I'm not breaking my back. I remember just floating down. I remember just floating. And I was just floating. And then I woke up. So I remember explaining this dream to my husband, and I'm like, husband, what you think this dream means? And he like, you know what this dream means. It's pretty common sense, right? And so that's exactly how I feel. Like, I literally sacrifice everything that I wanted for my life for people that I will never meet. People on this other side of this screen that I will never meet. I will never meet a lot of you who tune in here, or, you know, the people who are going to eventually tune in here. I sacrifice myself, and I sacrifice a lot. Like, only my you know, my family, my husband, my children can attest to how much I sacrifice, and how much I really try to live and be this example of Christ, is, you know, of Christ, like being an example of how powerful he is. Okay. And how he really can change you. He really can heal you. He really can do exactly what he said that he's going to do. How he will do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we could ask or think. And it's not a joke. And, you know, people's lives are really on the line. And I take that serious. And so, like, I've just been, like, I don't know, like, dealing. dealing, to be completely honest with you.
So let's stay on the topic of the high-end wear in the pulpit.
Okay.
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 So who usually comes to church?
Poor people.
Poor people. People in need of some, but not just monetarily poor. Poor in soul, poor
spirit.
in heart, poor in spirit. And so I look at it, and the vast majority of these churches are in areas that are underserved.
Thank you. In the hood.
And you're sitting there wearing a $10,000 blazer, and all I can think of is, who does that feed? How many people here does this house? They're so worried about keeping themselves. And the pastor and all, they become the new celebrity.
Yes.
It's a hustle.
Yes.
Why do you think?
That's what it is.
I want everybody right now to really think in their minds, okay? Because I'm going to name somebody. Now, we're from Western New York. We live in New York, okay? And now I'm going to name off a pastor or somebody in the church that you've came across in a high-level position. I'm going to name them off, and I've never met them, okay? And here it is. It's I used to be the biggest drug dealer.
Yeah.
I used to be the biggest pimp. I used to be a stripper. And then this happened to me. Now, while they're saying that to you, they are driving a Mercedes. They are living a lifestyle that was above what they were before they walked into that pulpit. And every single city in America has them. It's because
it's a hustle.
It's a hustle.
Yeah.
And they know why. I had I might have told this before, but I may have not. I was behind the scenes of a church at one point. And I was I was told by the pastor that this is the music we play before tithing because it riles people up and gets them to give more. The lighting has to be a certain way in order for you. They have this down to a science.
They do.
They know how to emotionally pull on you to get you to come out of your pocket.
Yep.
And every single church in America, all of them, they're all the same.
Yep.
They can literally, because these people, they're good at reading people. It's the same thing as being a psychic.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Know how to read you.
Franny, you still here? Let's talk about it.
So when you go in and you sit down and you walk out of the psychic and you go, how did they know all these things?
Right.
It's because they know how to read you.
They play on your emotions.
They absolutely do.
Manipulation, yes. Is that Franny? I can't see.
I'm trying to hold the baby while she's asleep.
Right. So we were just talking about this earlier about the spirit of divination. Like, divination is just another word for witchcraft. Like, a lot of people, they will literally play on your emotions. They like, oh, okay, so she's a young girl. She more than likely wants to be married. So they'll play on that. You know what I mean? Oh, she's, every woman, 9 times out of 10, if I say, you want to be a mother, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to play on that. There's only that 1% where somebody's like, I don't want to be a mother. You get what I'm saying? So they'll be like, oh, you want to be a mother? And like, bro, that's literally witchcraft. It's no different than playing with tarot cards.
But it's not just that, though. They know how to. So there's a formula that they use that they can literally break down, and they can say, you have a grandmother. Her name starts with a P. And in reality, it really does. But there's a formula that they use that they break down everything.
Yeah.
To get to that letter.
Yeah, it's called conjuring up spirits. Like, and people be like, oh, it's just so miraculous that they know all of this stuff. No, it's not. They're playing with witchcraft. They're playing with them spirits. Like they playing with your
But
dead
there's
grandmother.
also a mathematical formula that's used
Really?
that they know how to. Yeah, you can
Okay, now
Google
that I
it.
did not know.
There's a mathematical formula that they know how to use to get some of the biggest things out of you without you knowing.
That's a shame.
But these pastors do the same thing. They know how to
Absolutely.
do it.
Absolutely. And they sit up playing with people's souls. And, you know, I just be like, Lord, it is so hard for me. Like, again, God does not let me sit up and play. He don't let me play. He don't let me slack off. He don't let me lack off. Like, and the things that I was able to get away with last season, I can't get away with this season. The things that you were able to get away with last season, you won't be able to get away with this season. God is requiring more, right? So I have been fasting more. That's something that I used to struggle with. Like fasting, I used to be like, at all costs. But now God is like, no, fast more. Like he's requiring more of me. So again, like stuff that wasn't that serious last season is serious this season. The stuff you could get away with last season, you can't get away with this season. God's requiring more of you. You have to give more of yourself. You have to sacrifice more of yourself. Again, if it's people depending on you, people who you don't know, you don't even know. It's not about you. You gotta like me being on YouTube is not about me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's days where I wish you would make it about you, because it would make our lives so much easier.
it would. And again, like people don't realize how much my husband has to go through just behind my calling. Just behind what God has called me to do and be. And again, I don't even really know the fullness of what God wants to do, but I just have to be obedient. You know what I mean? Like, so let's talk about what you was about to bring up.
No, I was gonna ask if anybody wanted to hear a funny story. I feel like we should stick with these slime balls.
Okay.
That the hustle of it.
What's
all.
the story?
So, it's a funny story.
Okay, what's the story?
Regarding tithing.
I was about to say, is it got something to do with me?
No.
Okay.
So, we were at here. This is a funny story. It's not really funny. It's really dirty and it's gross and it's disgusting and.
Dang. Well, I want to know. I want to remember.
You were there for it.
Well, I know.
And as I tell it, you may remember it, you may not, because you there's times where you just block out some of the tomfoolery. So we were at a church again. We were both, me and wife, were involved in the higher ups in the church. Wife did stuff with the girls ministry. I did things with the young men, and one of these young men was the son of the pastor. Okay? The son of the pastor drove his mother's car to church that day.
Oh my goodness.
And do you remember this? And it was a nice day, and it was a nice car. Well, the son, being young and immature and probably shouldn't have been driving his mama's car, locked her keys in it.
Okay, oh my God. Okay.
So the pastor calls me over and goes, "Hey, the keys are locked in First Lady's car. We got to figure out how to get them out." So I go, "Well, I could probably get in this car, but I probably shouldn't."
You know, pass.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. I probably shouldn't even bring up the fact that I know how to do something like that. So hard pass on that.
Right.
So I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll call around. Let's see if we can find a locksmith." He said, "Okay, good. Well, we're up doing praise and worship. You go into the office. You start calling around, see if you can find somebody. Because again, this is a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Everybody should be at home chilling, sleeping with their family, and having family Sunday breakfast, and them being at church themselves." Well, I did find somebody, and it was extremely expensive.
I remember
to get them to come out on a Sunday morning to get these keys and open this door. So the pastor says to me, looks at me and goes, "Okay, listen, we have to get these people to give enough to unlock First Lady's car with the tithe money."
I remember this.
Yep.
Yep.
And so he said, I'm going to put on a little bit of a show. I'm going to do a little tap dance up here and get them to give up the money to get First Lady's car unlocked.
Unreal.
So the music starts playing, and boy, he put on a performance. Because he did most of the singing.
He did. It was about him.
It was all about, he was the star of this show. And you better not get in the middle of it because he will ike you if you even think about, listen, these big wheels going to keep on turning.
Said, nobody came to see you, Otis.
Yep. But boy, he danced.
Yeah.
And sure enough, got all the time. Listen, he sent me in the back with that tithe money. Said, count it up. When he gets here, pay him.
Yep.
He sure enough, I counted it all out, got it all together, went outside and paid the man.
Yep.
Keys were in hand right afterwards. But that's what's going on with people's tithe money. Oh, you think, it's going to a good cause. It's not.
No.
And there should be no church in America that has these, what do they call them? International,
like going overseas.
Yeah, to go to some other place in the country and listen.
Outreach. No.
Yeah, outreach. There should be none of that in different countries.
Our daughter is really being ridiculous.
No, it's the other kids being ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the outreach ministries where they also will take people's money and put it in a bank account, and then they'll send their ministers to Africa, or they'll send their ministers over here or over there to these third world countries. And it's like, bro, how about you outreach in your city, in the hood? It's people that need help, like people on food stamps, welfare, don't have vehicles, could use bus passes, and then they take this money and send these ministers all the way over to third world countries. Okay, I get that. It's people, they need help, but it's people here in America need help too.
And not only that, they're getting paid 6-figure salaries to do it.
100%.
I know somebody right now that interviewed, and their salary was $172,000 a year.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Why?
Now, don't get me wrong. You need money to survive. Everybody does.
Absolutely.
However, come on now. It's people that's really out here hurting, like, and they need help.
Not in other countries.
In
our own backyard. This is the problem with America.
Yeah.
We've gotten we want to be the savior of every country but our own.
Yes.
But ourselves.
Meanwhile, every other country is taking its time and strengthening themselves while America is getting weaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we being completely honest with you.
And do you know why it's getting weaker?
Yeah.
Because our values as our country was founded on Christian values.
Yes, and then that's out the window.
And there is no Christian values. They have gone out of their way to take Christ out of everything.
Yes, they have. And now look.
Now you are attacked if you are a Christian. You are the minority. They are the majority. Mm. It is listen, I sent wife an article the other day, and in New York City, in the financial district on Wall Street, the most famous financial district in the world.
I'm gonna try to link the.
They had the 3 biggest buildings on Easter, or on the 3 days. So no, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They would light up the 3 biggest buildings on Wall Street with crosses. Mm-hmm. And this is the main place now where you could never even whisper that you're a Christian.
Yep.
And they show you
Antichrist.
Yes,
literally.
they show you how much better off America was when everything was at Christian values. How much better off everything was. You know that in 1956, now not everything was better. It wasn't. But in 1956, you want to know the number of single-parent households?
How many?
3%.
3%?
3%.
Oh my gosh, that wasn't that long ago.
Do you want to know what it is today?
What?
In a lot of states, over more than half.
More than half.
50%.
Yeah.
38% is the majority.
Yeah.
But there are a lot
Mhm.
of states that are at 50%
50, yeah.
single
50,
parent
60,
households.
yeah.
And guess who the single parent is? The
Black
mother.
people.
The mother.
Black people.
So here
We lead in everything.
Now, I'm not saying that everything was great in 1956. There was racism afoot. There
Of
was all
course.
sorts of stuff. But guess
Of
what?
course.
It's still alive. That same racism is still alive today. They just hide it better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Make no mistake. Racism hasn't gone anywhere.
No.
It's still here.
Mm-hmm.
As much as they try to make it sound like it isn't. So, but the main categories of what you would value family as were extremely higher than what it is today.
See, and that's what it just makes me mad. Like again, I don't know.
If we could only get back to having families pray before dinner.
Mm-hmm.
To make family be the most important thing. Don't worry about what's going on everywhere else. Worry about your own family.
Yep.
Is your family serving Christ? And don't look outside when I say family, I'm not talking about grandparents, aunts, uncles, but no, you and yours.
Family. Yeah. So I was reading the Bible earlier. And I came upon this scripture. I can't remember where I was. I was a lot of places, but moral of the story is God was like, don't get it twisted. That's literally what my spirit was like, don't get it twisted. And what I mean by that is, yes, God is literally, like, I know it, I feel it, I've been confirmed, it's in the works. God is about to bless people who have been giving themselves fully to him. Okay, that's for sure. That's evident, right? He's going to do that. If you've been sacrificing who you are and what you want and not making it about you and your will, he's blessing people who follow out his will, okay? And in that, you better not get it twisted that just because you're blessed does not mean that the world is not under judgment. The world is still under judgment. America is still under judgment. If you are in blatant sin, you are under judgment. Now is not the time to be in blatant sin. I cannot stress that enough, because we just celebrated Passover, right? And how, the children of Israel coming out of Egypt, all these things, and they put the blood over their doorways so that they would be protected, and all of these things. You better make sure that you are protected in this time. You better make sure that you are not in blatant sin, and that is how you protect yourself. Repent and turn from your wicked ways. Stop doing what God is telling you to stop doing. I know that, the world is tempting and everything is going on and the weather's starting to break and it's starting to get nice outside and the sun is shining. God said, do not get it twisted. Do not get this thing twisted. Judgment is still here. Do not get caught out here looking crazy. Okay? And I don't know how else to express that. But that is what I got today reading my Bible. And I wasn't even going to bring that up. I wasn't going to bring that up because I've said it on the channel before numerous times. But the Lord kind of reiterated that today. So that's where we are. Do not get it twisted. Yes, you're going to be blessed and everybody else is under judgment. But don't get it twisted. Yes, the answers from the Lord are yes and amen for you. But do not get it twisted that he is about to rain down his judgment. He has been very subtly, ever since 2020 hit. 2020 hit, and judgment has been in the earth ever since. It's been chaos, craziness, judgment, tornado this, hurricane this, fire this, flooding this. It's been crazy. Murder this, everything is sky high, everything is going crazy, and do not get it twisted. This is judgment, okay? 2020, God said judgment, and judgment has been here ever since. So Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
You don't?
I do, but I'm holding a little girl who's very cranky and...
Do you want me to hold her?
No.
You sure?
Okay, so...
I don't mind.
Let's spin back to taking care of your own.
Okay. Spin the block then.
And how important it is. Okay, so let's talk about single parent households.
Okay.
And we were just discussing this earlier.
We were. Oh my goodness.
Okay, and these are for the young people that don't have children right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and if you do have children and you are in a single parent household, you can chime in as well.
Absolutely.
And we were just talking about, I said, I wish people knew how hard it was. Really hard. The details of it. Because they'll just tell you, oh, it's bad, don't do it.
Yes.
Oh, it's hard, don't do it.
Yep.
But they don't go into the details of what really makes it hard.
Yep. If only people would just be honest.
And so they just vaguely tell you, but they don't go and say, well, you're going to have to raise another person's child with a person that doesn't understand you as a parent.
Yeah.
They're going to, so if they think you're parenting wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to put their input in it, and you're sitting up here so now you're arguing with that significant other over your child who you're trying to parent, but they don't agree
Who is a
with
menace.
your parent. Yeah. who is rightly the other person's rightly telling you the truth, but it's hard for you to hear
receive it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Or, this other person is, or, this child, it's very easy for a child to come in between.
Oh, extremely.
You and your significant other.
Extremely. Mm-hmm. If you let it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the list goes on and on. Like, it just doesn't end at children.
No.
Like, it...
Do not have children if you are not married. And if you did that and you
but why
made that decision...
But why
I'm about to.
Okay.
I'm about to get into it. I was trying to make it short.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Do not. No. See? I told you don't do that.
Well, I know that's where you're going.
So, do not have children when you are not married. Do not make that decision. Thinking, oh, that's my dude, whatever. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trick of the enemy, okay? And if you did that and you made that decision, you cannot go back on it. You have a beautiful baby that God has blessed you with. Do not keep making those same mistakes. And do not keep making I'm not going to say mistake. Do not keep making that same decision over and over again. Decide to stop having sex without being married. That should be decision number one. Okay? And the reason being is that you'll now have baggage. Like, and a lot of times if you're a female and you have a kid, a guy is going to be like, do you have kids? And if you have one kid, okay. 2 kids, that's... 3 kids, it's a no.
It's a done deal.
Like, it's no. Like, that's baggage. And I don't know, like... why people aren't saying something,
and
but
if this guy does say, oh yeah, you need to look at that guy real funny if he's willing to come into a already made 3 children and you like that guy is not a good guy.
Yeah. Well, he could be. We're not gonna do that. But a lot of times those men, they're not gonna do that. And with women, if a guy has all of these kids just spread out all over the place, that's not it.
No.
Okay? It takes a special type of person to deal with somebody with that many kids.
Absolutely.
So just stop doing that. Okay? It just complicates your whole life, and God never intended your life to be complicated. So listen, just stop it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, just don't. You will complicate your life in every single way. You want to be happy in your relationship, but at the same time, you're gonna be declining in your relationship.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Is there anything else you want to say about that since you brought it up?
No, we'll leave it there. I find it funny that people just say don't do it, but don't take the time out to explain why not.
Yeah. You will complicate every single aspect of your life.
Everything. Life is hard as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Why make it harder on yourself? You're literally shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep. Yeah, I don't understand the whole baby mama, baby daddy culture. You know, now that I'm older and I'm more mature, and, you know, when you're young, it's like, oh, it's not even, oh, it's just, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody made it so cool.
Yep.
They made a song about it in the 90s.
Yep.
Oh, that's just my baby daddy. Who that is? My baby daddy.
Yep.
But they made it cool, and I remember being super young, like, T-Burn, that's just my baby daddy. And that's a ghetto mess. Like,
yes.
let's stop doing that. Like, that's not even cool. Like, it's not cool. It's not none of that. Please do not do that. And again, the enemy has a way of tricking people out of their positions. So,
That's it.
is that it?
Right.
Do we have anything else to talk about? Is there any questions in them comments?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
Y'all don't have nothing y'all want to talk about?
We can talk about whatever you guys want for a minute. If there's any topics.
Okay, so while they're putting their comments in there, let's talk about the mimosa.
Oh.
So I had I made a video about it. You know, I don't, again, like, I'm me. I'm real. I can't sit up playing and faking, right? So I decided to share that I had a mimosa. And again, like, a mimosa does probably absolutely nothing for, you know what I mean? Like, you can never get drunk off of a mimosa. Let's just be completely honest. But for me, it's bigger than that. Like, again, here's that sacrificing myself, right? For people who I'll never meet in person. And that's just me just, you know, wanting to be who God called me to be. So again, this thing is a sacrifice, and you don't, you know, see a lot of people sacrificing. Like, who are you? That's a question. Who are you? Who is God calling you to be that you're not being? Listen, it comes with a sacrifice. Stop putting it off. Yes, it's hard to be in the flesh, and yes, it's hard to be, you know, a follower of Jesus Christ, but at the end of the day, the reward is great. The reward is great. Stop putting off who God called you to be. Yes, sacrifice, do it. Cry. You're going to cry sometimes. You're going to lose some people. Yes, but the reward is great.
A lot of times those people that you're losing, you're actually gaining.
They need to be lost at the end of the day.
And it might hurt for a minute, but trust
100%.
me, you're better. If that's why you're losing them, you're better off without them.
100%.
And just, I'm going to point out the same thing I pointed out to you.
What?
Because you have one drink doesn't make you an alcoholic.
No.
But it makes you a user of the substance.
Okay, let's put it, okay. So this is what my husband said, right? He said, okay, so take somebody that uses crack. We're going to say, you know, can I say crackhead?
Yeah.
Okay. So say somebody's not like a full-blown crackhead, but they say, oh, I only do crack on holidays.
Yep. I honestly said this, and this was the reaction I got from her when I said it.
Crying.
This is exactly what
So
she
listen,
did.
so we got on this topic because, no, let's start from the jump, right? Because I'm always like, I don't drink, which I don't. I do not drink. So that's why that mimosa was such a big deal, because it's like, oh my goodness, what did I do? I'm like, I don't drink. Like, that's not something that I do. But, you know, having a glass of wine on Thanksgiving, or having a glass of wine, you know, for a holiday, I would do that. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, that was a problem. But husband's like, okay, well, then you do drink. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, I don't drink. Like,
You're
you
a
know me.
drinker.
And he goes, So just because somebody's not a full blown crackhead and they say, "Oh, I only do crack
On the holidays.
on the holidays," are they a crackhead? And I'm like, husband, now you just trying to like, no, we're not doing
No,
that.
but they're a crack user. It doesn't make them a crackhead, but it makes them a crack user. Same thing with weed.
Yeah.
If you, it doesn't mean
Like-
make you a pothead,
Like I don't.
but you consume marijuana
on
on holidays.
So yeah.
But
So I'm like, now you.
that's part of the sacrifice, though.
That's the
Are
sacrifice.
you willing to not do these things for me?
Right, and this is the thing too. Like God was dealing with me before regarding this.
Yep.
Like if you cannot drink and not have a glass of wine all 362 of them other days, then them 3 days you don't have to have a glass of wine.
Am
You get what I'm saying?
Am
Like,
am I a drinker?
no,
What makes me not a drinker?
because you don't drink ever.
Ever.
At all.
Never.
I've been married. This is the 10th, going on the 10th year. Never have I ever seen him drink anything ever.
Not a beer in my hand, not
Never.
a sip, no nothing. So I am
Never.
not a drinker.
Right.
But if you are to have drinks on the holidays, you are a social, occasional drinker.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, yeah, no. I'm not, because I know I'm not that. Like, I'm like, yeah, no.
But
this
you
is a no.
knew before you even asked me if it was wrong. You knew because you were asking me.
Yeah, it was the conviction.
You knew.
It was like, oh my gosh, husband, what did I do?
You just needed the push over the ledge to let you know this is wrong.
Yes. Yup.
Yeah. So see, and that's the way it goes for everybody.
Yep. You know
don't-
it was wrong.
You don't need anybody to tell you something's wrong. You know this is wrong.
You knew it was a problem when you did it.
That's why
Yes.
you feeling guilty.
Yep.
Going, oh man, I shouldn't have did this.
Yep.
Let me go see it. And hopefully they'll tell me I'm just tripping.
Yeah, no.
But I'm the type
Like
that'll
my
go,
husband.
no, you were wrong.
Yep.
You knew you were wrong.
Yep.
But I don't do it in judgment.
No.
It-
I
it-
never feel judged.
I
Like,
see. I
never.
think that's where people make mistakes. So when and makes it so people don't want to talk to other people about their
Right.
problems. They're so quick to put the judgment on you before they give you the answer.
Mhm.
Where if you come up, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
You could come up to me with anything, and go, "Hey, I did this.
Yeah, you're not a judgmental person.
Is it wrong?" And I'm, because I don't want you to feel that way. How are
Right.
you gonna fix it
Right. If you just
if you don't want to talk about it because you're
Right.
afraid of being judged?
right.
Like I'm
Right.
I'm 99% sure you can come to me with any topic
100%.
and never feel judged about it.
Yeah, no.
Like I'm not gonna sit there and make you feel less than.
Right. You'll tell me you'll tell me what's right. And
Yeah.
that's what you need. You need people in your life that are going to hold you accountable.
Even if you just
Yeah.
have one.
Yeah.
And listen, sometimes she gets mad at me for doing it.
Yeah.
So because
In certain situations.
yeah, in certain situations she'll get mad. But
Like when I know that I said I'm getting this baby weight off and yes, I'm eating some chocolate. I get offended.
see,
Like,
yeah,
I be
but she
mad.
tells me no matter what I say, no matter what I do, you make sure you tell me, and then wants to get mad at me. And when I hear the bag opening up, and I look over at her, then she wants to be mad, but yet tells me, doesn't matter if I get mad or not.
Yo.
You just tell me. So, but everybody, listen, each one of you that are sitting in here, you need to look around and figure out who that person is in your life and use that person to keep you on the straight.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
and if you start feeling like they are judging you, bring it up. Say, listen, I'm not here to get judged by you.
Yeah.
I just need you to be this.
But you know what? Again, like you knew
Oh, yeah.
it was wrong before you did it.
But
You knew it was wrong when it. What did I read earlier? Bring it back to my remembrance, Lord.
sometimes it helps
We
having
are-
those people.
We are drawn away No, we are tempted when we're drawn away by our own lust.
Yeah.
And then it said, lust breeds sin, and sin full blown is death. Oof.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So basically what it's saying is you knew before you got the text message that wasn't the one. He wasn't the one, she wasn't the one. But because you were drawn away by your own lust, you was tempted, you went over there. Now look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you in sin. And that sin is going to birth death.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Don't go birthing death.
Yep. And if you need to reach out to people, listen, you can reach out through email. You can reach out there. It doesn't have to be a face-to-face thing. If you feel like, oh, I don't want to go to this person and be judged, it's real easy to send wife an email. A lot of people do it.
100%. You can email me anytime. And I don't judge people.
And not even if you need to just let something rip just to get it off your chest.
Absolutely.
It's very freeing to be able to sometimes just unload.
100%. And you know what? I always tell people, like, some people come to me and they're like, I'm having a moment. I just can't stop crying. I'm going through it. And I just be like, listen, have your moment, because it happens. It happens. Like, you're going to get to a point where you smack a brick wall.
Yep.
And you can't stop crying one day, you know? I was just feeling like that before this live. Like, I am having a hard time shaking it off. But at the same time, it's like, it is what it is.
And another thing is, you know what I told wife before we got on this live? Because she said, I'm not feeling it. And you know what I said? Hop on my back and I'll carry you through it.
He sure did.
We all need that person that goes, hop on my back, I'll carry you through.
Yep.
Everybody. We all need it. I have that person. She has that person. We each need to have one of those type of people.
100%.
And if the people around you aren't those type of people, get rid of them.
Yep.
Because they are not for you.
Yep.
Some people just want to be around you just to watch you flame out. Mm-hmm. They want to see that bad. They want to see that bad part. They want to see you doing bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand that. But
they feed off of it because it makes them feel better about themselves.
Very
inside.
weird behavior.
Yes.
Like, you're very much weird.
So take a look around you at the people you have. Do you have those people in your corner?
Bad spirits. You better get them people away from you.
Even if you only have one person around, you don't need a whole group or a whole crowd of people.
That's all you need.
You just need one solid person that goes, hop on my back, let's go.
Yep. So true. So true. Yeah. No. You don't need all of the extra. You don't need all of that. Like
people all of a sudden think they need to have fans. Since his Instagram and social media things, and they need followers and eyes watching them, and listen,
attention.
All those people around you are not there for you for the good.
Yeah, those are not your friends in real life. Like, yes, y'all friends on social media, not in real life. Like, and I don't know. I feel like social media kind of blurred that or blurred it. It's very weird.
It's all of a sudden they think that having like this phone turned into their everything. Mm-hmm. And as long as I have these followers that hit that like button when I post this picture. It makes
you feel good.
Yeah.
It makes people feel like it strokes people's ego.
Yeah, your self-validation isn't good enough anymore.
Right.
Feeling good about you just because you feel good about you isn't good enough anymore.
Yes. You got to have that validation. See, and don't do that either. Don't do that. Do not let social media validate who you are as a person off of the internet. Like, real life, you need to know you're solid in real life. Yep. In real life, you need to know that you're 100. Like, you can't go around being insecure in real life, but on social media, you know what I mean? This big person, like, no. You need to make sure your house is in order in real life.
Yep.
Get it together in real life. You know what I mean? Love yourself in real life. Not, snap a picture, smiling, but really you're sad. Like, Don't do that. Stop doing that. Do not do that. I'm, at the park, snap a picture, but the whole time you knew immediately after that picture you were crying because you're so upset and miserable and upset and just mad at the world because, you know what I mean? Things aren't going the way you want or whatever. Like, stop doing that.
I tell wife all the time that, as far as subscribers go on here, none of those numbers matter.
No.
If you touch one person,
Yep.
Your whole time on YouTube, but every time you turn on the phone, if you reached one person and helped one person through a day, not their life, their day, then this was a success.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. He does tell me that. Because I be like, so YouTube really plays with my numbers. Everybody know that. Like, my day one people, they know that I would get on live. You remember this?
Yep.
And the internet would just go off.
Yep.
You remember this stuff. Like, stuff would just be happening. It's always been like warfare behind YouTube. And, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's one person.
Yep.
If you're able to affect one person, all those other things, while you're putting up a picture of yourself and going for likes, what about just saying something positive and just keep it moving?
Mm-hmm.
Just to affect, you don't know what that's doing to the next person.
And I think I told somebody this during the week. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have to start branching out because YouTube really that's where I was going with that. YouTube plays with me so much that I feel like I'm gonna have to start branching out and
doing other things
and reaching people that way. And that is just giving me so much anxiety. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. Like,
well, I'm telling you guys right now.
I don't know.
We're here on YouTube, and this is the main platform. But eventually, all these platforms go away, and the next one comes, and the next one's already here. It's here right now.
What, Rumble?
Yeah, and it will eventually get to the point where it's this size.
Yeah.
Of YouTube, if YouTube doesn't swallow it, which it may not. But, there's other ways to get messages out.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about anything, marriage, parenting?
Ooh, all the hard ones?
What you mean hard ones?
I think that might be best served for the next one. Yeah, Zoom meetings. Yeah, they said, "What about Zoom meetings?"
What about them? Somebody said something. Wasn't a question in there in the
upper room Zoom? I like that.
Is that a real thing? No, upper room Zoom?
No, but it should be.
Ooh, it should be. Ooh, that's fire. You should patent that,
right? Marquita said the children are also suffering all this baby daddy, baby mama drama. They right in the middle and most times causes emotional damage.
Yeah.
The biggest emotional damage that now
it's horrible.
Now damages the next 4 generations of people.
All because you better talk about it. The poor babies have to suffer for generations because they can't get it right on their own.
Then your husband's sitting there trying to fix childhood traumas that you have.
Like my husband. You can talk about it. You want to talk about it, you can talk about it.
There were a lot of things that I had to come through and fix with my wife when we were married because they said you should do it. We should do it.
Ooh. Let me write it down.
There were a lot of things that I had to come through and fix.
Yeah, you did. So, yeah. But my mother and my father were married. They were married, but they got a divorce. And that even caused emotional damage. What is this?
That's why we try as hard as we try to make sure that that never happened to ours. It's in marriage is hard enough as it is.
How much would this cost to get this done? Oh, we'll talk about it.
marriage is hard enough as it is, and then when you add in past things that out of a relationship that you had nothing to do with, it makes it even harder.
What'd that say?
I don't think I'll ever get married. I'm a perfect man who lives a perfect life.
I
Okay.
know you lying.
Yep. That right there lets you know that this person is a mess.
Yeah.
The person that goes, the man that goes, I'm a perfect man, that's the most messiest of all.
What'd that say?
My rent is from the 90s. I pay like $150.
Wow, you grandfathered in. Yeah, sir, you lying. We love you, but you lying. You ain't perfect, but What? No, seriously, I would love to know why you feel like you're perfect and why you aren't married. Then, Mr. Perfect.
Anyway, it's hard enough to do that, and then you're bringing in past things that you have nothing to do with, and then trying to piece the pieces of the puzzle together to fit correctly, to fix the... Because if one puzzle piece is out, the whole entire picture is ruined.
Right.
So you got to go through and try to spin that piece and try to figure it out and put it in place so the picture's looks right.
Right.
And it's hard to do.
I just would just like, wait, what are we talking about the kids?
Talking about marriage.
Oh,
Fixing, past childhood traumas.
The trauma. Okay.
And that just isn't just... Listen, all of our parents messed us up.
Yeah.
In one way, shape, or form.
In some way. And like, parents aren't perfect. Parents aren't always going to say...
No, because there's no manual.
Right. You just got to wing it.
You're doing the best you can with what you got.
Well, with a prayer and just keep it moving.
Yep.
Lots of apologies, just like any other relationship. You got to apologize to these kids. I apologize to my kids all the time. And I constantly just like try to make sure that they're good.
Yeah, and not only that, tell them, listen, guys, we're not perfect here.
Yes.
Like, we make mistakes.
Was that Mr. Perfect?
Yep.
What'd he say?
I had to work hard to lose weight. Everyone knows how that is. I have been at it for a while, full determination. I'd like to find a woman who is well-balanced like I am.
Aww.
Listen, you're never going to find a woman that's well-balanced because they're all emotional.
Oh. Pow, pow, pow. That was a shot.
They're all crazy.
Basically.
It's just the level of crazy that you're willing to deal with. That's
respectfully,
listen,
and I'm not even going to argue with you.
It's because it's true.
Yeah.
But
we're emotional. And
women are emotional.
It just is what it is.
You guys go off your emotions and we go off of common sense. And a lot of times, women
You just took me...
Listen to me. Listen where I'm going with this, though.
Okay.
Women can't understand our common sense because our brand of common sense doesn't fit with your emotional thinking.
Me and Franny was just talking about this, how men be swearing up and down like that they're so smart, but the whole time y'all be dumb for real. Like, sometimes y'all so smart that it's like you're dumb.
Oh, yeah.
You're so smart that you're dumb, though. Like,
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? And women can see things that men cannot see.
Absolutely. Listen.
Why can women see
Because you guys have intuition about things.
Yes. Okay, so women can see things that men cannot see because we're emotional.
Yes.
We are in tune with the emotional aspect of it. The happy, the sad, the manipulation, the jealousy. We are in tune with all of that. Yeah. That's all emotional.
Absolutely.
That's our department. So men need a woman to navigate those
things. But then when you put them under, but then when you put it under the same roof 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it gets a little crazy.
It's a little nuts.
And it's a lot to deal with.
It's hard
because you're looking at this woman going, oh, she's nuts.
Right, but the whole time, eventually God will show you, oh, she's not that nuts.
But while you're going through it,
yeah,
I can easily say there has been many, many times where I've looked at my wife and thought, she is ready for the crazy house. She is all the way nuts. But then 4 months down the road, when the things that she was saying that I thought were so crazy actually turned out to be what it was, I had to give her a hand. And don't tell me that I don't come to you. I always give you your props and tell you when you're right. I always do. No. Don't just shake your head.
You do.
Say that I do.
What that say? Keep going.
I'll show that. It's very easy to it's very easy not to give women their props because you just go gloss past and you're moving 100 miles an hour.
Right. And
But
you know what?
I've always tried to make sure that you get your, I always make sure you get your pat on the back.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to say, pray for my husband, y'all.
Why?
Because not only does he have to deal with me as a woman, he has to deal with my calling and who God called me to be. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about how I'll tell my husband something that God will give me, and or something that I've discerned, and how it literally, this is what he's talking about. This is the times where he's like, I'm ready for the crazy house. Like, and why are you looking like that?
No, go ahead.
This is the times where, I discern, pick up on something, and he'll think I'm crazy. Like, it'll be just completely woo, out here, woo, until I'm like, okay. Then boom, it happens. And I'm like, bro, if only you just listened to me. I saw it happening 5 months ago. You didn't listen. Now look at us. Both of us looking stupid now. Because you didn't listen.
No.
Okay. Well.
I
let's talk about it.
I have completely changed my. Now I can understand you saying that 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I have.
This how it used to be.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I have gotten to the point now.
You gotten better.
Now listen, I will sit there in my mind and think, "Oh, she's nuts. She is," but I won't say it out of my mouth. I'll go along with it.
And guess what? He don't have to say it out of his mouth because I already know what he be thinking. And then I'll say, husband, I know what you're thinking. No, you don't. Yes, I do. I know you think that I'm crazy. Like, I know you do, but you're going to see.
But I will tell her, no. I don't think you're crazy. I make sure that listen, sometimes you just got to go along with the crazy.
But it's not crazy.
You got to nurture the crazy.
It's not crazy.
But you're not letting me finish. You got to nurture the crazy because sometimes the crazy actually grows fruit. It bears fruit.
Thank you.
You look.
Thank you. Come here, Noah.
I'm not telling you any different.
Come here, Noah. It's gonna rain.
But it is hard when you put it under the same roof 24 hours a day.
Yeah. So again, let's talk about like how it is dealing with my calling.
It's the worst. It's 100%. Listen, you are. I think everybody thinks I'm gonna lie about it and sit there and tell you how great it is.
No.
It's terrible. It's horrible. It's so hard because I'm not on camera. You guys don't see me because this is not my calling.
Somebody said your calling, question mark.
I'm
going
not
to tell you in a minute.
I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's going to give you common sense, well thought out answers. I'm not going to give you the spiritual answer.
No.
I'm not going to say, thus saith the Lord to you, ever. Right. I'm never going to get here. You're never going to hear out of my mouth, God told me to tell you.
Yeah, no, never.
That's not who I am. I'm the background guy.
Right.
Okay? I'm the guy that's here to hold her up.
Right.
Under the chair where you guys don't see me. Okay?
Right.
For all you know, I'm on my hands and knees right now and she's sitting on me. Okay? That's what I'm here for.
Right.
So I'm here to give you another perspective, a guy's point of view, and that's it.
Right. For the comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here to push along the conversation and give a different point of view. That's it. Because if you sit here constantly and hear the same point of view over and over again, it gets redundant.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, having a different outlook or a different way to view it.
Right.
I might not say, thus saith the Lord, but I might say the same thing as you in a common sense view.
Right.
Or I might say the total opposite of you. So, as we go through things and God tells her to do things, she's hard-headed. She's got, listen, as hard as this table is her head sometimes. And God will tell her to do things and she will fight it. And then all of a sudden I start getting hit with things. And I'm dealing with stuff. And where I have to go in and tell her, hey, you got something going on that you're not doing, that God's told you to do or said that you should say something to somebody or something like that. Because I'm taking a lot of heat right now.
Heat in what ways? For the new people who don't know, heat in what way?
Oh, financially.
It always happens in our finances. We'll get hit in the finance. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Financially, but not just hit financially like, the bank account's getting, like the car will go something wrong on the car that'll cost a ton of money. Time with me is money. So if it costs me my time, it's costing me my money. It's costing money for us.
Yeah.
And I can always tell when things are going on and she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing because those things start happening.
Right.
Back to back to back to back.
Right.
And then I gotta go, why am I having to be the one that deals with this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not called to do any of these things.
Right. And it's hard. Sometimes it's just hard because it's like he said, I wrestle with God and I know that I should not, but I've wrestled with God. My day ones, they know I've wrestled with God about YouTube. This is warfare that I never asked for. He told me to do this, so I have to do it. And when I don't do YouTube, everything goes haywire.
Yes.
Everything goes haywire.
Absolutely.
Like everything will dry up because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And this is what I be talking about, like the weight of the calling. Who said, the calling, question mark. Me doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that's my calling. Me speaking, and telling people what's going on and keeping people up to date about what God is doing in the earth, judgment and all of these things, and me saying certain things. And if I'm just being completely honest, there's nothing that I've said on YouTube that has not come to pass.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
I told, what are the things that I've said? That very prominent people are going to begin to die.
Yeah.
I said that back in 2020, and very prominent people have been dying ever since. The thing with Alexis Sky, I had to speak and prophesy. I was talking to Franny about this earlier. Prophesying, right? When God gives you a word to prophesy and speak out of your mouth, you have to speak it even when it doesn't look like. Come on. Ezekiel had to speak to the dry bones, right? And he had to prophesy to those dry bones. Listen, when God tells you to prophesy a thing, that means that you have to speak it when it doesn't look like it. God told me to speak that about Alexis Sky when Alexis Sky was still posing with her butt out and in a two-piece bathing suit. And I had to speak to her and speak that out of my mouth. I don't know her, never met her in my life, but I had to speak that. And in the flesh is like, why would I speak that when she is still naked online and it don't make sense what's going on? Even my husband was like, I don't know if you should have said that. Like, yeah. Because to the carnal mind, it doesn't make sense. But in the spiritual realm, it makes perfect sense. And I made the video about her. And I had to, pray for her and cover her and all of these things. And slowly but surely, God was starting to, show up. And she would post stuff about God and, here and there. But she was still, having her body out. And I had to pray for her conviction as she began to cover her body up. Now she's covering her body up. And, you know, that was really, really, that was prophesying.
Yeah.
That's what that is. When you prophesy something, it's not about, oh, you know, what all of this, like all of this crazy stuff that people be doing. That's not it. When God tells you to say a thing, that is prophesying.
Yep.
And people got this thing misconstrued. Like, no, no, no. And this is why, again, like, I have to make sure that I'm keeping my vessel clean, that
Yeah.
I'm not doing whatever I want to do. Because when God wants to speak, if he can't use me, then what's the point?
And I'm not. There'll never become a point in time where if she's not doing what she's not supposed to do, I would be the first one to get on here and tell you guys she's a fraud.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he would. And I'm not that type of person. Like, I have to be all the way in or all the way out. Like,
Yep.
I can't be halfway in and, like, halfway not doing what I can't do that. Like, I don't see how people do that, and I don't see how people play with God like that, but I'm scared. I'm
And
scared.
God punishes us
Yeah.
severely
When I'm not doing what I'm
when
supposed
she's
to do.
not doing what she's supposed to be doing.
100%.
And it starts with me.
Yeah.
Because I don't let the punishments go. I'm like, oh, something's going on, and we got to figure this out and get it straightened out right now.
Yeah.
You know, so back to what we were talking about.
You
Listen,
having to prophesy
it is
stuff like
hard
that is
being married to somebody that's got something like this going on. It's not easy. But
And
with that
having
being
to-
said,
yeah.
I'd do it 1,000 times over.
and constantly having to deal with witchcraft.
Yep.
Like, you have to deal with what you're called to.
Yep.
And I know that I'm called to witchcraft. Like, I'm called to manipulation, and I'm called to all of these things, and it's like, you know, so that's what I have to fight against the most.
But the thing is, I'm not.
Yeah, you're not. But you're just a what's it called? A casualty? No.
Yeah.
No.
Casualty
You
of
just
war.
yeah.
But it's hard. It's
You
hard.
just getting hit with the
Shrapnel.
shrapnel.
But
Yeah.
it's hard.
It's very hard.
It's hard to get, especially when I'm chilling.
It's very hard.
And I'm never claiming. I'm not sitting up here claiming that I'm doing any of this stuff. But yet I still get hit with it. And it's some days it's overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming. It's
So I can
overwhelming
only
for
imagine
me.
what it could be. I could only imagine what it is for you.
What I have to deal with is like,
But again,
God.
that's why I try.
like, God, you sure you called me to this? Like, me? Like,
But that's
what
why I'm trying
me?
to constantly hold you up, because I know that if I'm not doing it, nobody else is.
Yeah. And it's like, it's certain things that I'll feel like people, and this is the thing too, like, the more time you spend with Christ, the more your gifts will grow. Like, your gifts will grow the more time you spend with Christ, right? Because again, I could be around somebody and they don't have to say a word. They could be trying to act normal, but I'll see right through that, and I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly what you're thinking. And it's like discerning spirits.
Yeah.
Like, I know. Like, people don't have to say a word. You don't got to say a word to me, baby. I already know how you feel.
Yeah.
I know you don't like me, or I know you do like me. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know you don't like me. I know exactly why you don't like me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and like, that is constantly like how I live my life, and that alone is a lot.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's I don't know. It's overwhelming a bit.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, and again, that comes with spending time with Christ. If you're not fully operating in your calling until you are convicted.
Yep.
Until you are convicted, you are not operating in your calling. Once you have convictions, once you understand it's not about you, once you know that it's people depending on you to do what you have to do, then you're not fully operating in your calling.
Yeah.
Did I answer his question? Because he kept saying, your calling, question mark, and it's like, I don't
Yeah, they're gone.
have a title. Like,
They're gone.
I don't, it just is what it is.
Listen, guys, I had I'm sure you all saw, I had to delete a lot of that because it was just a lot going on. Like, those messages and stuff, they were erratic. They were all
It was
over
from
the
one
place.
person?
Yeah, they were all over the place. Not about a lot. So in order to kind of try to keep all of us together on the same page, I had to get rid of it.
Oh,
The
wow.
messages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like there were some things that were totally
Was
off
it crazy stuff?
topic and yeah.
Nothing important.
No, and a lot of times what happens is people will come on and start saying random things.
It's been so
and
long since that's happened.
and it pushes the conversation to different places that it probably shouldn't.
Remember that used to happen all the time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I never like a lot of times when you guys all
What did Amelia say?
you never see me deleting things. Real ones who are chosen just don't act right away. We question it, and most of the time we run from it.
Talk about it. Run. I'm talking about running, wrestling with God. Like, God, are you sure you choosing me? Like, you want me to do this? It is hard. So again, when I see people, when they like glorifying their positions and they thinking, oh, it's just a woo woo, a good old time in a Gucci vest, like, bro, this ain't that. Like, because the God that you serving and the God that I'm serving are completely different, because every single time I do something, remotely small, I get convicted and everything goes crazy. And the minute I start to veer off to the left, God will smack me right back over on the right path and make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So we not praising the same God. And people are like, well, how could you, rebuke these people? And how could, you speak out constantly about these people and what they're doing? Why? Because I know we're not serving the same God.
Right.
The God I serve, he convicts.
Yeah.
You ain't going to just be wearing any old thing. I don't care where you going. You going to the grocery store, you're not wearing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to just be wearing and going and doing whatever you want to go and do.
Right.
So imagine that, getting up in the pulpit and doing it. I can't even go to the grocery store where, you know what I mean, wearing a certain thing.
Yep.
But let's just bring it back.
Yeah.
So let's change this subject.
Okay.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
Nope.
Is there anything else y'all want to talk about before we get off of here? What time is it?
10:10.
It's 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
What time we got on here?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, well, let's get off then. Okay. I love y'all. You sure it's nothing else in that chat?
Yep. Positive.
All right. You guys, we gotta do better. We gotta stop. I read something once and it said that we are a sad generation posing like we're happy.
Yep.
Did you see that before?
Nope, but
and it was like taking a picture on for social media, being a sad generation. Like, people are generally like really hurting. People are hurting, and whether it be, I don't know, child molestation, people are hurting. Your parent left you, you got drugs in your family. I don't know, you grew up in poverty. I don't know what it is, but people are genuinely hurting, and people are trying to suppress how they feel, and they're trying to cover it up with Gucci bags and, having the aesthetic on Instagram and all of these things. And it's like, everybody's really like sad.
Yep.
And you're sad, battling because you feel like you was born in the wrong body and all of this stuff. And it's like, you're searching for love that only Christ can give you.
Yep.
That whole community of people talking about, oh, I'm born in the wrong body. If that's genuinely how you feel, you need to come over to Christ and be born again and get yourself a new identity.
Yep.
Period. Like, you're searching for this love, love is love, and love is love. But you have never met love until you've met Christ. Somebody who's going to love you through all of your mess. And it's like, he's not saying, change who you are and then come to me. He said, come to me first. I'll change you.
Yo.
I don't need you to change you. You need to come to me and I'll change you. That's what the Lord is saying. You will never find the type of love that you need just from being with the same gender. Never. Yeah. You're never going to find it. It'll never happen. That's why a lot of guys, they get with these other guys, and now you in a domestic violence relationship. Why? Because two men are not supposed to be together.
Yep.
Period. Like,
Yep.
I don't care how you slice it and dice it. It's not supposed to happen. And that's why they be going upside each other's heads and all this
Yep.
crazy stuff. It's not supposed to happen. You will never experience the love that you desire until you find Christ. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
What was that message? Was it anything?
Definitely. No. What message?
It was
here
one
it
last
is.
message.
I normally don't comment on anything. I just watch, but God is always using you to check me.
Oh, who is that?
Out of slumber.
Oh, out of slumber. Well, thank you for watching, because God, he checks me too. So thank you for watching. I love you.
Hey, Amelia, are you still out of the country?
Probably.
If you are, when do you come back?
I know. We
been
sending you
gone
a
for a
care
while.
package, girl. My girl said, I don't want to come back.
I don't
I
blame,
don't blame her. Respectfully.
I don't know. It's corrupt over there.
Oneness. We need to make a video on oneness.
Yes.
Oneness.
Yeah,
Do you want to briefly describe it, or you just want to do a video
So
on it?
when we were first, before we got married, we sat down with the pastor that married us.
She's
Oh,
back.
you're back. Oh, good for you. Good. I'm glad you're back.
I
I'm
know
glad you're
that's right,
safe.
girl.
So before we first got married, we sat down for some premarital counseling.
Yes.
And the pastor that married us told us that we'll get to a point where we'll have oneness. And
Yep.
we both kind of looked at each other, and they're like,
We're like, what is
okay.
that? What is oneness?
right.
Yeah.
And as time went on, and things happened, and so we're connected on a different level.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very weird.
we'll say things at the same time. I know she'll say stuff to me that out of the blue, random, crazy something. She'll just start talking about something like we've been having a discussion about it for hours, and I'll know exactly what she's talking about. I'll know to the period.
We'll say the same things at the same time. It's just like very, very.
She'll go, Tuesday with the pancakes and butter was missing, and I'll go, oh yeah, and I'll know exactly. She'll say something
That
would
doesn't make
sound
sense.
like it would make no sense, and I'll know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's oneness. We need to do a full blown stretch.
Yes.
On oneness in a video for people.
Yes, it is an important thing.
Very, very important.
All right.
All right. I love you
Let's wrap it up.
guys. Talk to you guys soon. Do not forget, you can email me at speakerboys2, TOO@gmail.com. I've been checking my spam folder because I realized that I've been having emails that I haven't seen because they're going straight to the spam. But I love you guys. God bless you. Good night. No. Not that. Yep.
I hate doing this.